Hi, this is Steve. Welcome back to Scale Model Kit Review Studio, and welcome back to another installment of the Agora Models LaFerrari. Let's get started. Welcome back to Scale Model Kit Review Studio, and welcome back to another fantastic installment of the Agora Models LaFerrari. Now this is the 1/8 scale sports car available only from Agora Models. LaFerrari is a very unique car. Gold wings that go up and down on it. This car features a lot of different things. So I'm currently working on pack number 3. We received 8 more stages with this build, stages 17 through 24, and you can see here we have 17 through 22 on here. So stage 17 is the right front tire, stage 18 is the right front wheel, stage 19 are the pedals, the gas pedal, brake pedal and such, stage 20 the cooling system, stage 21 luggage compartment, stage 22 and stage 23 are the rear right wheel and tire, and then lastly stage 24 will be the seat belts. So what makes sense is I'm going to combine the wheel and tire stages. They're going to be one video in itself, so it's going to make this video fairly short by combining those. Now remember that when you subscribe to this build, you can go directly to a link. I'll put a link in the description below for the online build instructions. They don't give you a magazine or anything like that with this build. You have to go online and download those build instructions, which I have those here on the side. I have it on an iPad here on the left. I can see what I'm doing as I go along with that. And of course you didn't see this in the video, but here's the wheel and the seat belts, stage 23 and 24. Let's get started. And welcome back. So I'm going to go ahead and build up stage 17 and 18, and that's the tire and the wheel. And here's the parts here. Let's take these out and get a closer look. Alright, here's a close-up of those parts. Here's the tire itself. Now the tire has to be installed a certain way on the rim. We'll point that out. If I remember right, it has like an S-shape pattern on the tread that goes on the outside towards the outside of the rim. And you'll notice that there is some foam inside. Now if you're going to soak this in hot water to help you get it on the rim, you want to take that foam out first. You don't want to have the foam soak in water. And of course we have the rim here, very nice, made of metal, has the valve stem on it, very nice finish on that. And then we have the cap, the wheel cap, and it does have the Ferrari symbol on it, makes that very nice. Alright, so before we put that wheel and tire together, they want us to install some of the components, some of the parts we received in the previous stage. So I brought over the interior, this interior bucket here, and we have some floor mats that need to go in. Floor mats are pretty cool because they are, there's a large pin and a small pin on the back side, so you can only put them in one way and only on one side. So it looks like our smaller floor mat goes on the driver's side, and the longer floor mat goes on the passenger side. Then we have like a partition panel here. We also have some gauges, like a pillar gauge, and some seatbelt mechanisms. So this is simple here. We're just going to press fit the floor mats down. So the smaller hole does not want to line up very well. So what I think I'll do is make the smaller hole just a little bit larger for both sides. Take an X-Acto blade and widen that hole up a little bit. And I could always super glue them in place a little bit later. And I'm going to use the Loctite super glue here. This is the gel type, so it's fairly thick. And of course I don't want a bunch of super glue flowing out from underneath. That should be good. Those mats are in place. Next I put in the partition there. And that's going to be a press fit. You just notice the sides on the interior weren't inserted all the way on the sides there, so now they are on both sides. And now we can put in this partition. It looks like it goes in like that to fill that void. So that panel is in now, right there. Looks good. Next are the seat belts, and they go on the inside right here and right there. Okay, so the seat belts themselves are marked with a right and left, an R and an L. So alright, so I installed these seat belts off camera so I'd have better control and able to see them better. I didn't want to break them, but they only go in one way, left and right, and make sure that the left and right letters are on the inside so you don't see them. And basically I wiggled them in place. They snapped in just fine. That's what they look like. And then I took some Tamiya extra thin and applied some glue to them on the back side there. So that should be good. Next I'm going to go ahead and put in these gauges, and I was wrong. They're not A-pillar gauges. They're actually going on the center console, and they're going to go down just right there. Press fit into that slot. There we go. And that's how that looks there. Looks great. Very nice. I think that's all we'll do with the interior at this point. And we're going to assemble the wheel and tire in the next stage, stage 18. Which makes sense, right? Because we didn't receive the wheel until stage 18. So that's all I do for stage 17. Let's head over and get started on stage 18. Alright, so now we do stage 18. Since we received the rim with 18, the tire was 17. And they recommend you take and heat up the rim. Makes it go on easier, but I remember last time I didn't really have to do that. It went on just fine. So remember here that you have different looking tread pattern. In this case, there's like an S-shape pattern, and that goes on the outside, so that's going to be presented on the outside of the rim. And if you do soak the wheel or the tire in the hot water, boiling water, I recommend just boiling the water and put the tire in there for about 3 minutes if you need to. I know I didn't need to last time. So this is just going to slide right over, making sure I make sure the S pattern is on the outside of the rim, and squeeze it down. It should go right on. Like I said, this is fairly pliable anyway, not like some of the other tires that are out there. So this one goes on really easy. You don't even have to put it in boiling water. There you go. Looks good there. And looks good on the inside. Just making sure it's all the way. And the thing here is you want to get it, there we go, to go past on the back side. There we go. Now it's there. Okay, so there you go. That's how it should look. Your little S pattern of the tire tread on the outside. So that completes stage 18. Let's get started on stage 19. And welcome back. Here is our parts for stage 19. Now remember, you can get the instructions online and follow the build instructions on the Agora Models website. So here's those. We also need to get out 2 of our screws for this, and these are the B-type screws. Remember, all our screws came in a large bag, so I already did that ahead of time. So let's go ahead and get a closer look at these pedals. Here's a closer view of those pedals. We have the gas pedal and the brake pedal. Now I think this is more like it, like that. So you can hear the micro switches. So that's very cool. And then there's a footrest here too. Pre-wired, I like that. Everything's already put together for you. Not an issue. Looks great. And you can actually see how everything is. Oh wow, very cool. If you see how this everything works here, give you a close up of that. Pushes down on it, and then the other one is just a micro switch. That's cool. So the wires are numbered H and I. Okay. Then I have the 2 B screws. So bring over the interior, and we'll line this up. Right. So if you look at the firewall that these pedals mount to, there is a specific angle here that matches your pedals. So you're going to want to route your wires through this opening on the interior side there. And you're going to want to go in between has that identification tab. All right, now so your wiring goes through underneath like that, and then we go ahead and have our alignment brackets, mounting brackets lined up with the holes on top, and we put our screws in from the top. I'm going to use a PH1 screwdriver for that from Wera, because these are larger screws. And I'll get both started first before I tighten it down. And they are tight. So you can just see where those 2 screws went in there. And that's what the pedals look like. Make sure they work. There we go. That completes stage 19. Let's head over and get started on stage 20. And welcome back. Here we are on stage 20 of the build. This is the cooling system. There's a lot packed in this bag. Let me take everything out and I'll be right back. Here's a close-up of those parts. First thing that I did is I took out 6 of the E screws. That's what's called for this stage. And we have the cooling system base. Really nice here. They put this foam to protect it. So that's what that looks like. Made of plastic. Then we have the extractor. It's pre-painted, pre-assembled. Has some screens and such on it. That's really cool. Really nice. Then you have your fans themselves. One fan is already on there. The reason why, because they installed the speaker behind one of the fans. Pre-wired, everything ready to go. That's really nice. Then we have the other fans themselves, the blades and the cover for the other fan. Alright, let's get started. Alright, the first thing we do is we assemble the fan here. Now you can see how this is installed on the other side already. We have the speaker behind there, and I want these to match, so it's going to mount down there exactly the same as the other. You can see this bar is going to be the same on the other side. Okay. Does it matter? I don't know if it really matters, but this one sits a little bit higher anyway, looks like. Oh, you know what? It does matter. So there's a cutout. This needs to line up with that cutout, so it does matter. It's different. Okay. And then it will go in all the way. Snaps in all the way. You can hear it. Okay. Okay, so it's in all the way. Now, from the back side, we'll install the fan itself, because that's just the cover we put on. And line that up. Perfect. Then we'll put 2 E-type screws into that. Okay, that's what that looks like there. Looks good. All right. Next, going to install the extractor on the fan assembly. And remember, we have that now. It's going to go down on these 4 tabs, just like that. So you're actually going to not even see a lot of the color here. All right. Press everything down in place, and then 4 more of those screws, those E-type screws, will go into that. And there you go. All 4 screws are in and tight. You can see that there. There's a close-up of that extractor. It is very cool. That's complete. Now let's move on to the next stage here, next step. Well, that is it. So that completes stage 20. Let's get started on stage 21. And welcome back. This is stage 21 parts. This time we're working on the luggage compartment. That's what that looks like. Let's take these parts out and give you a closer look. Here's a close-up of those parts for the luggage compartment. This is the compartment itself, made of plastic. And the lid for that, which is very cool, already has the hinges on it, so the hinges open. And then they tell us we need 3 F-type screws, and these are recessed type screws. Very nice. Let's get started. Alright, in this case we're just going to install the lid on the luggage compartment, and that's that right there. The lid will go down onto it flush, just like that. Then we're going to line up the holes on the back side with the hinges. And we're going to be using 2 of those F-type screws for this. And there you go. It is on, hinges like it's supposed to, looks good. That completes stage 21. Let's head over and get started on stage 22 and 23. That's going to be another wheel and tire. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. We're going to combine stages 22 and 23, and that would be the tire and the wheel itself, which makes sense. So we'll go ahead and take these out and give you a closer look at them, then we'll assemble them. Be right back. And welcome back. Here's a closer look at those parts. Stage 22 is the wheel itself, the rim. Very nice. Of course, it's made of metal. And then stage 23 is the tire. And it is pretty flexible. And if you're having problems getting the tire on the rim, they tell you can go ahead and heat this up in boiling water. Take out the foam. Don't heat up the foam that's inside, just the tire itself. And then after it's warm, you can go ahead and put the foam back in and insert it. I haven't had any problems doing that. So, you know, that's pretty nice, I think. I like it for this kit. And of course we have the cap here with the Ferrari symbol on it. Very nice. let's get started here. So in order to put this together, remember that the tread pattern, it does matter which way the tire goes down on the wheel. You want to make sure your little S pattern in the tread here is on the outside. So just making sure I do that, and we'll squeeze that over. Goes really easy. Yep, there we go. Okay, took a little coaxing, so it may help to heat this up to get it on there easier, but I got it all the way up against the rim on both sides, and that's what you want. Okay, and there you go. S pattern of the tread on the outside, and then we have the cap that goes on top of that. So that completes stage 22 and 23. Let's get started on the final stage for pack 3, stage 24. And welcome back. This is the final stage for pack 3 for the LaFerrari. Pack 24, this is the seat belts, as they call it. So go ahead and take the parts out, and I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Here's a close-up of those parts. These are the seat belts, as they say, but they're actually installed on the rear window front bezel, which is this right here, and the rear window, rear bezel with seat belts already inserted through it. Kind of see that? That's cool. And then they give us a limited edition plate, and I'll go ahead and give you a close-up of that. You can actually read it. And I retrieved 3 B-type screws. So there's the limited edition plate. Very cool. Alright, so go ahead and put this this rear window together here, and just inserts on with these tabs right here. Press fit. Like that and like that. So it snaps together. Looks good. Alright, so we have the tub here, and this is going to mount down on these 3 tabs here. So just like that. And of course we're going to put our screws in from the bottom. Those are the B-type screws, 3 of them, and it's tight. All 3 screws are in. There you go. That's what that looks like there. And I think we put our seat belts, they press fit here on the sides. There's some holes for that. Give you a close-up. So just like that. Nice. And they will press fit there. And you can see your buckle assembly would go over. That's cool. Okay. Where does that go? Oh, okay, it goes right there. So that press fits on top here. There's a hole. You can kind of see that, how that went in there and how it went down there. Do the same on the other side. And this side is installed here and up there. Had to make the hole a little bit larger down there to get it to fit, and it's fitting snugly without having to glue it, even with after I made the hole larger. So you may find yourself doing that with an X-Acto blade to make the hole a little larger for that. There you go. So that completes the final stage for Pack 3, Stage 24. I'll be right back. And there you go. That completes Pack 3 of the Agora Models LaFerrari. We did a lot here. We assembled 2 wheels and tires, back one and front one there. We also assembled the rear compartment. That was cool. The cooling system itself, very nice. And the interior, we installed the pedals, some gauges, and some belts. So that's very cool there. So if you think you'd like to get this for yourself, head over to Agora Models and purchase this kit for yourself. It comes as a complete kit. They have different options actually on how you can receive this kit, so check that out at the Agora Models website. I put a direct link down in the description below. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. Happy modeling, everybody, and take care.